We ain't the only homeless people in this world, baby.
I see our shadows. Oh, it's just like LotLyfe. You see our shadows. Get it?
LotLyfe.
Welcome to the LotLyfe.
Welcome to the LotLyfe. Go sing, mommy. Welcome to the.
Welcome to the LotLyfe.
Welcome to the.
You're looking at the LotLyfe.
LotLyfe.
Yeah.
What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up?
We definitely got to be careful. We're going to show you the view of a drop. Because
Yeah.
if we ain't careful and other people ain't careful, it's a drop over here.
It's something serious,
It's a
too.
hill. It's a hill. It's a downward spiral.
Yup. Hey, you know what? If you're walking and you fall, you might be able to survive, but you might get a concussion. You might break a couple bones, but you probably survive. Y'all ready to see this bill?
It's pretty deep.
Look at this. Oh, gotta watch your step. Okay. Bow. Look at that. A skateboarder's dream. All the way down, Brody. All the way down. It looks better. It looks less dangerous than it probably is.
No, it looks pretty dangerous.
Ooh, who was that, y'all? What the heck?
Did you just hear somebody
I did hear somebody scream. What's going on?
somebody down here?
Is somebody okay?
Look, it's close to you.
What's going on? I don't want to go either, but why is that person screaming?
Be careful, Mama. You get too close.
Okay.
Now, that's the one thing I don't need. What I'm going to do? The camera gone. You gone.
I ain't gone.
Is somebody gone? Right there?
I hope she okay. Yeah, it looked like somebody lived there.
Oh, somebody probably living down there.
Oh, y'all see that? It looked like somebody living there. Let's get a little closer.
Look, it's intrusive.
What's that on the beat? Ho!
I'm looking behind us, make sure behind us being
Okay, y'all, we about to discover
one side.
where that scream came from.
Oh, I don't think nobody down there. I think that's just.
Maybe people just
I
tripping
don't
out.
think so.
Folks is tripping out. Folks is tripping out.
No, that sounds mistaken. No, I don't think so.
Okay.
But appears. And how do these people? Let me tell you something.
Oh my God, it is people under here.
Let me tell you something.
Okay, that's nothing.
Get up. No, ain't nobody. Ain't nobody sitting down here. Plus, it'll be off the way.
Gotta be careful with this phone.
No, I think nobody down there.
Oh, but people are living up there, you guys.
You want to walk down a little bit further? And come back?
Hey,
And then walk all the way back?
Mom, you trying to be dangerous today. Yeah.
It's not dark outside.
Okay.
It's actually a nice breeze.
All right, guys. We are walking.
Oh,
Ooh.
that's the traffic.
This is also scary.
Look.
There's a lot going on. But we're here. And we are not the only people struggling in this world, okay? Clearly. You know?
We're just taking a brisk walk right now.
We're taking a walk,
We're taking a walk.
doing our thing.
We're doing our thing. We're getting
Hello.
some We're getting some exercise. You know what we need. Ooh. Okay, I'm getting exercise for real. Now you know
Yeah,
what we're
that's pretty steep.
Okay, we're going up, y'all.
We're going back up. We went down, now we're going back up. But
It's
it's
nice
a nice
outside.
day.
It's beautiful. It's sunny. What is so?
Woo! It's like 75 degrees.
The dogs barking in the background.
Yeah. Take a look at this. Take a look at this,
The
y'all.
birds are having fun.
It's sunny. Look at that. Look at this. Come on. Wow. And then you can see that all the way back. It goes all the way down. Woo! This is
There is a way all the way down there that you could cross over.
oh yeah. It's such a nice walk. This is actually the first time us walking down this way. We walked that way probably a couple of days ago, but this is our first time walking this way. So we got to get us some steps in, because you know, anytime the sun comes out, you got to take advantage of it. Ain't that right?
Plus being in that car.
Yeah.
Being in that car, our legs.
Yeah.
You know, stiffness. What is it? It's all the stiffness.
Ugh.
Possible.
Yeah.
Like swelling and edema and stuff like that. We're trying to guard against that.
Yeah, that's a real thing that we've been dealing with. So we have to make sure that we walk all the time. Oh man, yeah, somebody is down there. Look down. How do people even get down there? Y'all see it? Look at that. Trying to keep it as stable as possible. We don't even know how people get down there. I think maybe they ride their bike down there or whatever.
All kids. Yeah, but then how do they get back up? They would have to lug their bike
Yeah,
back up.
I don't know how people do it.
I don't know.
There's definitely like a walkway to get down there. So, but how do they get back up? That's the question.
It's some daredevils. That's what it is. It's some people
Absolutely.
that's just like, let's do it.
Man, ain't that right? These people these days, they'll do anything to get that heart racing, to feel alive. Okay?
I don't think I've.
Ooh,
Okay.
ooh, somebody dog.
I don't think I've.
Stay your ass back there.
I don't think I've ever been like a risk taker like that. Now, what we don't want is no doggy trouble. Because where are we going? We have to run all the way. Look.
Yeah.
Oh, how we look like running now? What kind of footage? What kind of,
Ooh, we give y'all a show.
what kind of footage would that be?
Look, that's why I got that thing on me.
We definitely would go viral from that one.
Exactly. So, mommy, you had do you want to use this opportunity to talk about some of the stuff in your notes? Or
Oh my goodness, so poverty and lack.
yeah, we've been talking about that all morning, really.
Well, they definitely go hand in hand.
Crying over it and stuff. It's been a
Tell them.
yes. It's been pretty heavy. These last couple of weeks, you know, we thank you guys so much for supporting our channel, but you know, we still have a life to live. We're still living in a car, so we're still not yet in a situation where we can leave the car. And this is what we're doing to change our situation. And we're believing in God that that's going to happen. But as we're living in it and moving through it, because, you know, you got to get through it. That's what he tells you. You know, you have to experience that suffering. And on the other side of that test is your breakthrough. And that's what we believe this is. And so that weight of just experiencing less, that lack of abundance, maybe not spiritually, but the physical aspect of it, of being in a situation where you are not stable, that you don't have that stability in your home. It makes a lot of things that you have to do a lot harder, because You constantly have that weight on you, worrying about where your next is going to come from, worrying about how you're going to pay or maintain the things that you have. We have to think about how we're going to maintain our gym membership just so we can shower, how we maintain our vehicle, how we maintain our cell phone bill, our car. Man, the brakes just kind of twisted out on us. Like maybe a week ago, maybe a couple days ago?
Maybe like a little less than a week, but we started hearing it, so
yeah,
that has to be addressed.
It's a lot, you know. You gotta pay for the brakes, pay for somebody to do it. We don't really know anybody out here. Don't have a lot of family or support system that can help us. So that pressure, you know, it becomes a lot, and we're just thankful, you know, for you all, that you all have supported us and sent us donations and helped, you know, fund some of the things that you all believe in when you see us.
Even that verbal support, man, that goes a long way, because that encouragement, and, you know, we want to speak to the issue of poverty and lack, because, again, it's been something that's been going on in our family dynamic for a long time. Now, I do know that sometimes people just think it's a circumstance, and there's an easy fix for it. I think the verbiage that you had used was things are not linear. You want to break that down?
Yeah. Somebody in our comments, they asked us, you know, well, they broke down the fact that, you know, there's a way to prevent poverty. You know, there's certain steps to where you can prevent it, and that's absolutely true. Howsoever,
not generational though. It's a little different.
Yes, of course, you know, there's education can help you. Setting a system and plan can help you. Having support can help you. Building good relationships can help you. Making sure you maintain a healthy lifestyle, all those things can help you.
Learning about your finances,
exactly,
budgets and stuff like that.
Exactly, but
yeah, that's practical.
That's a practical way to approach it.
Absolutely.
And so you may comment and think, hey, this is preventable. But when you think about the system that we live in, a lot of people are not born into those things. Okay? Now, if you're not born into that education on your finances, if you're not born into a family that is financially well off, but instead you're born into a family that's always struggled financially, and so those things are passed down to you, where you oftentimes don't even really understand that you're living in a poverty level mindset. And the reason why we say it's non-linear, life is not linear, it is non-linear, because these life experiences, these traumas, we all have challenges in our lives, and those challenges, oftentimes the outcome is trauma. The outcome affects your mind in a way where it can hold you down. And so if you're not born into a financially affluent family, not only do you have to find a way to build out of that poverty and that mindset that you are taught when you grow up in a financially depleted home, is now you have to take care of these experiences that you're having, these challenges that further set you back. Okay? So somebody's parent might pass away. That could set them back into poverty. Somebody's child might pass away. That could set you back into poverty. You could lose your job. That could set you back into poverty. You can get an education and have that degree. You can even become a doctor and then experience mental illness. That can set you back into poverty. There's so many aspects to life which we all have to experience that you cannot avoid. You cannot avoid being tested in this life. You cannot avoid having bad experiences in this life. You can't avoid suffering in your life. no matter who you are, where you come from, whether you rich or
what
poor,
background.
what background, you have to experience suffering in one way, shape, or another. You cannot decide, all right, now I'm going to get an education. I'm going to become this and that. And I'm going to do this and that. And when you think of those things, you may accomplish everything that you set out to do. But let me ask you this. You know that once you did those things, every single time you set a new goal, you had to overcome a new challenge. And let me tell you something. That did not come without setbacks. You know it didn't. In fact, some of those setbacks set you back so far, you thought you would never get out of it. Okay, so when you see us, just know you may be looking in a moment where we may be in a quote-unquote setback, but baby, we all know that's just a setup for greatness.
And it's a setup for a comeback as well. We're going to turn around.
Look, mommy said we done went too far.
This is how they get down, though.
Yes.
You see that?
Yep.
The swerve from the other side and this.
Oh, yeah, it's a lot of people living down here, too. Yeah. So what were you saying, Ma?
We know that it's a setup for a comeback. You know, any setback that happens to you is a setup for a comeback. And so, again, this is not circumstantial. This is not, oh, this is circumstance arise, and you know that's why we attribute it to poverty and lack. No, this is spiritual. And it took me a long time to recognize, to like put the pieces together as to why it was spiritual, and why it's a spirit of poverty and a spirit of lack, because they both go hand in hand. And I even thought about it in the book of Genesis. I think it's chapter 3, maybe it's verses 3 to 5. When Eve gets approached by Satan, who is like the serpent, and he deceives her. One of his questions is, he asks, why is it that God doesn't want you to eat of the tree? He was like, could it be that he doesn't want you to have as much knowledge as him? Could it be because he doesn't want you to have as much information as he has? That's where lack got introduced. Because Eve thought about that, and she felt like something was being held from her, that something was being kept from her. And the spirit of poverty and the spirit of lack will always make you think that you're missing out on something, even if you have something. So it's not just really about money. It does attach itself to money.
Yes.
Definitely. But it's not just about money. It's about anything that you can be convinced of that you do not have. So much so that you will not look at the things that you do have, but you'll constantly be competing and fighting and in turmoil about the things that you do not have. And what it does set you up for is being very competitive. And I'm not talking about being athletically competitive either. I'm like, literally, like you're competing with other people. You could be competing with them. Oh, such and such just bought a Range Rover.
Yeah.
And now all I got is this. Oh, I need to keep up with that person. Such and such just got 3 degrees. Oh, I don't have but one. I need to keep up with that person. Yeah. You'll constantly be trying to one up. Mm-hmm. If that's a good way to describe it. You'll constantly be trying to one up other people just because you think that you're not good enough. And I really want you to speak to about what you talked to me about when you were younger, because our experiences are different. The house that we lived in was so broken. Mm-hmm. And we talk about the brokenness on the inside. Yes, there was. But literally, physically, the brokenness that was on the outside of that house, the condition of that house was crazy. Mm-hmm. It was so crazy that when people would come in to fix things, they would be looking, tell me I'm not wrong. They would be looking around the house in shock and the first thing that they would say is, did y'all just move in? They would treat our house that we lived in like a fixer-upper.
Yeah. They did.
Yeah. And so they would be like so shocked because
they couldn't believe that we lived there.
They couldn't believe that we had been living there for years.
Yeah.
And that's how bad the condition was.
Yeah.
And we went through so many things in that household. And I do believe that we're stronger because of that. And we have a lot of resilience because of that. But it was really, really hard. It's been a lot of hardship.
Yeah. It was very, very hard. And I grew up in that home in Chicago as a child. And my mom, she grew up in that home as a child too. But it was very different. By the time I moved in there, the house had got completely run down. And when she moved in there, the house, that was the first time they were moving in the home. So it was a brand new home, and it was actually the best home on the block. And we're going to tell you guys our video of how we applied to Extreme Home Makeover. Y'all remember that show? Oh yeah. We're going to give you guys a video. Let us know in the comments if you want to know the story about how we applied to Extreme Home Makeover and what happened. So piggybacking off of what she said, you know, I grew up in that home as a child. And so when you grow up in a broken home as a child, physically and of course spiritually, when you're growing up in a broken home like that, where everything is run down and every bill, there's so much stress going on in the household, and you don't know how you're going to keep the lights on. You don't know how you're going to make sure we get through the winter. As a child is negatively affected by that very deeply. And so I grew up feeling as though I didn't have or couldn't experience a lot of things that other kids could. And so, you know, when you're a child, your imagination is running wild, and you seeing other people have things, go traveling, go on vacation, get toys, experiencing anything that you could think of that financial abundance allows,
which would be normal
for a regular person.
Right.
It was very difficult for it to attain, on top of other things that were going on in the home. And I was telling my mother that I took that on as a child, and it made me feel like I did not have enough. In fact, it made me feel so isolated and different that when I would go into school, and I would go, and when I started high school even, I had felt already very different than my peers. And so I would self-isolate, not knowing why I was doing it, not understanding why I felt so weird around other people, but that I would go into these environments and I would automatically feel as though there was something that everybody else had that I didn't have. Okay? And a lot of us do that. We're not even recognizing the poverty spirit and mindset that we have. You're going into these environments, you're going into these rooms, and you have all of these dreams, and you can't understand why you keep getting in your own way. And it's because something happened to you that broke you as a child, that told you that these people, they got one up on you. And when you grow up in poverty, you really believe that everybody else around you is normal and you're the non-normal one. And if you see that other people have things that you don't have, it doesn't have to be materialistic things. It could be a job role, it could be a career, it could be friendships, it could be
relationships,
romantic. A boyfriend, a romantic a marriage. It could be they have a beautiful home and you've been struggling for years to just maintain an apartment. That it could be somebody that you know that travels every couple of months, and you're like, God, I wish I could go on that vacation. I wish I could feel the way I think that other person feels. And you keep stepping into these places feeling like I'll never be able to do that. Or you know what? The reason why I'm not able to do that is because there's something wrong with me.
Like you're not enough. So it's not, yes, it's not enough that you don't have enough financially. But it's also that you, somewhere inside of you, you feel like you're not enough either.
Yes. You deeply move with that in you. Subconsciously, it's already a seed planted in your mind and in your spirit that tells you that you can't have the things that you want because it'll be extremely difficult. that you can't have the things that you want because you're lacking in every area that you can think of. And instead of you combating those thoughts, you just live with it because you think that that's just who you are. And that's what poverty does. It shapes your identity. It shapes the way you think of yourself. It shapes how you believe you can accomplish certain things. Okay? It transforms your being.
It's very deceptive.
It's deceptive. It limits you. It limits your thinking.
It's very deceptive.
And you're looking around and you're wondering why you haven't done the things that you wanted to do. It's because you don't believe you have the ability to do them. Because your past of poverty told you that there's something inherently about you that you just can't have things. It's as simple as that.
You're not worthy.
You're not worthy.
You know, you're not worthy of it. Everybody else is. There's something very different about, you know, how you operate and navigate in this world than other people, and they operate and navigate better somehow. So they're better than you, right?
Because they had things that you didn't have.
Yes.
Because you wanted that PlayStation 4 so bad. You wanted it so bad, but mama worked so many jobs that she couldn't do it. Or daddy just they just didn't have the money. They couldn't come up with the money ever. And so now you're going to school and you're hearing your peers talk about, let's walk up. Now you're going to school and you're hearing your peers talk about these experiences. I
think this dog wants to get in on the conversation.
He really does. You're hearing your peers talk about these experiences that you wish you could have experienced. Do you see how this plays out in your mind?
Yes.
Where it makes you go home sad, like, dang, I just don't fit in. I just don't got it. You're hearing your friends talk about this marriage that you just wished you could experience. I mean, mama and daddy, they never got married. Or mommy and daddy's marriage was terrible. So you want to know what it feels like. But you keep hearing everybody around has it,
fulfillment,
and you don't have it.
You want the fulfillment of the things that you don't have. And so really, just again, back to Genesis, it was a lie then with Eve and what he was telling Eve about God trying to hold things back from her and Adam, and it's a lie now.
Yes.
It's still a lie.
It was a lie.
The same serpent, the same devil, the same lie.
It's a lie. It's a lie. The story you've been telling yourself is a lie. It's not true. It's not your reality. And you've got to combat that thing that you've been carrying that you haven't addressed. You've got to tell that thing it's a liar. The devil is a lie.
And the father of lies. That's what the Bible says. He said that the devil is the father, the originator of lies.
Of lies. And so, what are you going to do? Are you going to continue?
And we're talking to ourselves.
Yes.
So when we talking to y'all, trust and know, we're talking to ourselves too.
Are you going to continue to believe that you can't have the things that you want? That this is all that there is? Because that's the lie that it's telling you, right? That this is all you ever have. This is all that you'll ever become. There's a limitation on what you can do. Everybody else has got that thing and you don't have it. That's the lie.
It is.
But you've been believing it for years. What are you going to do now? Are you going to change the way that you think about your life? Take a look and reflect. Reflect on the experiences that poverty has given you. Do what we're doing. All we're doing right now is reflecting. We're giving you insight on what we've experienced so that you can take a look at what's been happening in your own life. And you can tell that devil that he's not going to have any control over you anymore. That poverty may have been how you began, but it's not going to be how you end. It's too many people experiencing poverty physically and mentally, and they're not doing anything about it. And that's how they want you, man. They want you like that. They want to keep you like that, so you never rise above. So you never have a piece of that 1%, a piece of that pie. Ain't that the song? What's the song? Finally got a piece of the pie.
They just wanted, now that song, the Jeffersons, mind you, they're talking about a small piece.
They're talking about a slice.
But God always talks about abundance.
God's talking about the whole pie, ain't he?
He said that I wish that you would have life and have it more abundantly. And we're talking about more than enough. So what poverty and lack does is it does create this atmosphere that you don't feel like you have enough and you don't feel like you are enough. But God wants us to embrace the more than enough, which he is.
Yes. And that's what we're doing. That's why we have this channel, so that we can start to face that lie and to tell it it's not who we are.
And it's not how things will always be.
Yes.
That's another thing about poverty and lack. It always makes it seem like this is the way things will always be. And if you can get you to believe in that, the lie, then you'll not do anything. You will never do anything to change it. And we're not just talking about changing it for ourselves, but for our lineage, for everybody that comes from behind us. This thing is generational, and that's why it has to be destroyed. That's why. Let that be your motivation. If you don't do it for yourself, do it for all of the people that's coming behind you. Do it for all of the people that are here now. If you got children, if you got grandchildren, if you got great-grandchildren, nieces, nephews, do it for them.
Do it for all of the people who passed on, who you wanted to experience abundance, and they never got a chance to.
Absolutely.
Do it for your ancestors, because they're rooting for you. If you don't got nobody's support, you got your ancestors' support. They see what you're going through. They the angels as well that you're calling on. They're pushing you forward too. Just because everybody in your family's been broke your whole life. When you was born into a broke family, you don't have to end that way. That ain't got to be your story.
Yep, the way it began is not the way it's gonna end. And so that's it. That's our poverty talk in summation. You know, but we just really wanted to get the message out, because it's important for us to know how to attack the things that have been attacking us. And I mean attacking us, right? For years.
Yes.
So now it's time to fight back. And one of the ways that we do that is with the word. And one of the ways that we do that is by faith.
And calling it out.
And
addressing
also
it.
Being a giving person. And I'm not just talking about monetarily, yes. But also being a person who serves. Being a person who gives of yourself. Who gives of your time. Who gives out of the abundance of your heart. Because the scripture says that give and it shall be given, pressed down, shaken together, running over, shall men give unto your bosom. And that is the scripture that resonates with us. Continue to be a servant, continue to give, continue to allow the Lord to lead you. Who to give unto, whether that's advice, counsel, time, like I said, volunteering, whatever that looks like to you. Be that person. And you're going to tap into so much abundance, even in your soul.
Never give up. Even if you're watching this video right now, you got $2 in your pocket, and you asking God how you going to do it, just know $2 ain't nothing to him.
Why don't we know it?
Where don't we know it? Okay? You can do this. You're talking to people who are currently in maybe look, it may look like poverty to y'all, but to us, we stepped out the mindset. We ain't gonna be in this position for long, and that's how you got to think about yourself. I might got $2, but tomorrow I have 2,000, and maybe you might not get it tomorrow, but you don't stop saying that. You keep saying it until it happens, because it will. It will.
It's a provider, that's for sure. All of these years, even during the hardest parts, when I was coming up and when my daughter was coming up. And by the way, for those who are questioning, yes, my parents were married. Yes, they both were working, and yes, we still had hardship. Mm-hmm. So I know that that conversation comes up with, it must have been a single parent type of thing. It was not.
And we're both educated. Thank you very much. So for all the people in the comments who are wondering why we're in this situation, just know we've experienced some real, all the things that they tell you one should obtain so they never experience things like this. Oh honey, we've done it and then some. But you know what? This ain't nothing.
But it's all right.
This just a hump in the road, honey.
It's all right. It's all right.
We
know people got questions. It's okay. You know, respectful questions are fine.
Yes.
But we just want to let you guys know, because a lot of people do question, like, what background do you come from? Did you have any schooling?
And we have.
You guys worked regular jobs? Absolutely.
Absolutely.
2, 3, 4, and 5.
Oh, you're talking to people who have worked 18-hour days. And
standing up.
Standing up. And let me tell you something. We don't have to tell you everything because we know who we are. But we will give you that little tidbit for all the people out there who just like us, educated. And even if you're not educated, you might be educated in another area. You might be educated in the streets. You might be educated on something.
You might be educated in life experience.
And life experience.
Which to me is probably more valuable
than a degree.
Especially right now in the world we live in.
Exactly. So education ain't got nothing to do with a paper. It's definitely have everything to do with life experiences and how well you obtain and those things in your mind and how well you navigate it. So never judge a book by its character just because you see somebody doing bad or just because you see somebody homeless on the street and you thinking, oh,
I know their story.
I know their story. They took a left turn and they never wanted anything. That's just wilding. They took a left turn and now they on drugs or now they got mental health. So, oh, we know their story. Absolutely not. Don't ever judge a book by its cover, because you could be looking at a scholar who may have lost their mind. But you know what? That doesn't mean that God is lost on them. And one day you looking at somebody living on the street and the next day they in the penthouse.
Absolutely.
And that's how you have to look at us. And that's how you have to look at the people that you see when you walk past. Remember, they have a story too.
Everybody got a story, and so do you. And we're just sharing ours. That's all. We're just sharing ours as humbly as we know how. We love you guys.
Yes. We love you.
We are so grateful to you and for your support as always. Thank you for watching LotLyfe.
Yes. Thank you so much. Wisdom is wealth. And thank you for watching.
Peace.
Bye. Did you like this video?
Then stay tuned for more of our content. We've got bigger and better things to come. LotLyfe for life.
Well, I don't know about for life. We don't want to be in the lot for life.
They subscribe for life. Dang!
Mama!